Mark, I'm going to give you a break from gags this week. I'm going to tell you a story this week. So when I was younger, I went to Amsterdam. I spent some time in a hotel there. And the hotel had a list of escorts and prices and had all of their names. I was drawn to one girl that was called Jaws, and I couldn't work out why. So what I'd done is called down to reception and said, why is she called Jaws? And they told me it's because her body was obviously a mixture of plastic and rubber, and you could always hear her coming.
Wow. I think you've done it, mate. I think you've peaked with the dad jokes. I think that is about as good as it's going to get for you, and we should probably retire this bit now.
This bit's never going to retire. It's definitely going to get better. It only gets better from here.
For who, you or me?
The listeners will like it.
I don't know. We maybe should do a poll on this.
No, let's not.
Yeah. Get a little bit of gasoline. I'm gonna make it burn. I'm gonna make it burn. Let's go.
You are now listening to the You Run podcast, the only horror movie review podcast completely run and controlled, not by me and Mark, your hosts, but by you, our listeners.
Hey, Scoob! We're on the radio, bro! You wanna die tonight? Zoinks!
You choose the movies. You score them. You review them. You do it all. Because after all, this is not our show. This is your show.
I'm your number one fan, Mr. Man!
It's not perfect. It has its problems.
The You Run podcast.
It was just weird. I don't know. I guess like a weird vibe.
The You Run podcast.
Bitch, you better not forget about me. Don't you ever forget about me.
Hey, this is Naomi Grossman, best known as Pepper from American Horror Story.
Hi, it's Imitation Dave. Buddy, you son of a bitch.
Just make sure you fucking listen.
This was fucking incredible. He's the one you need to blame.
Get a little bit of gasoline. I'm gonna make it burn. I'm gonna make it burn. Let's go. I'm gonna make it burn. I'm gonna
Hello,
make it burn.
welcome to the You Run podcast. I'm Scott, and always with me is...
Hi, I'm Mark.
Are you sure?
I don't know. I usually open with "Hi, I'm Mark," and you kind of reworded how you did the intro this week. Just threw me off guard slightly.
Is that what it was?
Right? Yeah, does that sound right? Or
yeah. You slipped into Borat. Hi, I'm Mark.
It works. Don't worry.
Works. I'm Scott. He's Mark. And we are the only horror movie review show run and controlled by you. Each week you get to pick the movie. You get to have your say in 3-word reviews, facts, sound off. You can even call the show and share your disdain and hatred for H4 if you like.
I'm not biting. I don't know why you're looking at me. I'm not biting.
I wish you would, because we've actually had a call this week. So listeners do call in, and we've had a call, and we're going to play that later. So you might get your wish.
Oh, really?
Maybe not, but maybe.
Yeah, you're just going to tee it up, and then you're going to massively let me down again, aren't you?
Oh, would I do that to you? Anyway, we're also joined by a fabulous guest this week who's going to take on Broken Spirit. I've got a story about why you should be kind to people online to share. We've just got loads. In fact, this episode is fucking packed. As it is so packed, Mark, kick us off with a recommended account.
Check it out.
It's that time of the week. It's time for Mark to recommend an account.
So this week's recommended account is Extreme Horror Films. Their bio explains themselves as explore the world of horror cinema, the disturbing and the extreme. And that is exactly what it does. They have basically scenes and still shots from some of the most grueling and grotesque horror films from around the globe. And it's an absolute must if you're into horror as a general sort of audience, or just anything that's really, really disturbing. I mean, I have found some incredibly gruesome and brutal films through this account. So check them out, show them some love. That is Extreme Horror Films, all one word.
And yeah, they're on Instagram. And you mentioned them to me earlier, and I had a look, and I've got to say, what an awesome pick.
Yeah, I mean, if you are listening, the owner of this account, please let me know whether you get regularly hounded by Instagram or not, because some of the stuff you put up, I'm just surprised it gets passed through unreported.
Yeah, I mean, I scrolled through like their last 4 posts, and I was like, fuck, they don't pull their punches.
No. I mean, some of the stuff. I mean, I wake up some mornings and I'm scrolling and I look and I see, I'm like, fucking hell, I don't need to see that first thing in the morning.
Yeah, but it's great if you like horror, especially gruesome horror. It's definitely an account for you. This week we're joined by a guest. Was going to be two, but unfortunately one of the guests can't join us. It's got some things that they need to sort out. But we are joined by one half of an account who's a podcast, a creator on Instagram. The account is Spaceman and the Doll podcast. If you've not listened, this show is great. Very, very unique takes on horror. A very laid back look at horror. Really good insights into what they pick from the movies as well. So I've listened to lots of their episodes and there's things that they pick out and I go, I didn't fucking see that. And then I end up going back and watching it. Like they reviewed Tusk, and there was things they were talking about in Tusk. I was like, I don't remember that. Or it's things that are so subtle that you don't notice. They really pay attention to it. They put out new episodes every Monday, and quite honestly, they're great. So fucking go and listen to them. It's not hard.
So they sound a lot more professional than we are.
Oh, yeah, fucking loads more professional than we are. But that's not hard. So I'd like to welcome Zaphod to the show. Welcome to the You Run podcast.
Thank you for having me.
No, you're welcome.
I appreciate you calling us professional, but we are far from being professional. We only just managed to get through everything.
No, you talk yourself down. Your show is good. How did you two meet? Because you don't live close. You're a little bit like me and Mark. You're not close in distance, but you put out a weekly show the same as we do. So how did that come about?
So basically, from what I can remember, we only met last year. But Katie, I think she liked one of my photos from like on my main page, and she was into horror, so I followed her because she was doing her reviews. And after that, we got talking. We decided we should do a podcast together. It kind of just happened over a couple of months. So we've technically been friends since about September.
Yeah, so that's not too dissimilar to me and Mark. We met a year and a bit ago.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, the same way. Yeah. We met.
I mean, we just followed each other's accounts, didn't we? And then I sort of hounded you ever since, and now I'm here permanently. So
yeah, permanently.
Thankfully, it works well in our favour that we live quite far away as well.
Yeah, because otherwise, every time you mention H4, I would come and put a turd on your doorstep.
Who are you?
Wow.
I'm the head.
Your show's great. I'm delighted to have you on the show. I'm going to kick this show off with something I don't normally do. I'm going to tell you both a story about something that happened to me on a social media platform and get your take on it. As far as I'm concerned, this is a story of why you should be nice to people online, because if you're not, it will fucking come back and bite you in the ass. So on TikTok, I posted a video about Jill Roberts potentially returning to Scream 6. And the video is basically me saying, I don't want this. This is a shit idea. I had someone commented, and what they said, they put, her name is not, in block capitals, Jill Roberts. Laugh my ass off. So I took that comment and then I shared that to a video where I put the IMDb page behind me, where I scrolled down to the actress and then zoomed in. So it took the entire screen, where it says Jill Roberts, played by Emma Roberts. And I thought that was quite funny. This person then reached out to me in the comments saying that I need to take this down. It's disgusting behavior. It's attacking and bullying. And the comment that she made was not done in a sarcastic way. Now,
Sounds pretty sarcastic to me.
Yeah, I'm a pretty nice guy. And I kind of went, maybe I should take it down. And then she commented again, I demand you take this down now. And I thought, oh, fuck you. So I replied,
don't give in.
No, so I replied saying, look, the only reason you want this taken down is because you were an asshole to someone online and you got called out on it. And now you're embarrassed because you feel bad that you said something sarcastic. She then reported me to TikTok, who opened a case and then quickly closed the case saying I hadn't breached any guidelines. Thoughts?
Oh, God.
Yeah. Take her down, man. Take her down.
Am I an asshole for not taking that video down and making her look silly? No.
She's definitely in the
no.
wrong for just being a bit dumb.
I just couldn't believe. I mean, I had lots of comments on this, and there was lots of people going, "I fucking disagree with you. Jill's amazing. You should be back. You're an idiot." But she just went,
that's not the whole point of the story, though. She should definitely not be back in Scream 6 for a multitude of reasons.
She shouldn't.
What was the conversation
Jill
then?
was supposed to be back in the fifth one anyway.
Oh, was she really? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, the original plan was that it was going to, the fourth one was going to end on a cliffhanger, and Jill was never going to be caught, and the fifth one was going to be with Jill, and I think Sydney was supposed to have amnesia.
Oh, you see,
okay.
I think we talked about this at one point or another, and I had
You
the
probably
whole-
have. I think you have spoke about it at some point.
Yeah, I think I had the whole "I know what you did last summer" theory behind it all, which I quite liked. But yeah, for her return would have just been daft. She got like one of them heart starter things to the brain. I don't think you could.
Defibrillator.
Yeah, but my point was, what was the point? Did she think that because her name was actually Emma Roberts, did she think you had mispronounced the actress's name?
No, she just thought I was wrong and just made a point of going. It was just one of these throwaway comments that people make online where they just try and make you feel stupid and make you second guess yourself. And it annoyed me enough that I made a point of going, actually, no, I'm right. And I don't normally do that.
You second guessed yourself enough that you had to make a video about it.
Yeah, exactly that. So yeah, the video is still up. If anyone wants to go and see it, I'm at You Run Podcast on TikTok. It's quite funny. You can go to see the barrage of abuse that she throws at me in a very passive aggressive way. It's very much like she demanded I took it down, then dialed it back going, look, it was a genuine mistake. I didn't mean to make you feel bad or silly. And I'm like, no,
you're done. You're done, bitch.
It's staying on there. Anyway, that's my story out of the way. This week, it's Christmas, which I completely forgot when I polled this movie that it's set at Christmas time. So I apologise, but it is Christmas. But don't worry, because we're boarding a flight to the Bahamas with Sir Michael Caine, cocktails, banana boats, and a larger than required helping of seafood. On the agenda this week, we take a look at the 1987 classic shark movie, Jaws: The Revenge.
Instinctively, man has always been drawn to the sea. Its beauty, its mystery, its secrets. But there is also a vague uncertainty, a sense of intrusion into an alien world, where man is unwelcome and completely at the mercy of the most terrifying predator on Earth. Man's deepest fear has risen again. Jaws: The Revenge. This time, it's personal.
So, we start the movie with the dullest character in the entire Jaws franchise, Ellen Brody. Honestly, this woman is so dull. I was losing the will to live in the opening scene.
Yeah, she's irritating as well. And I was really confused because I don't have a big familiarity with the Jaws franchise. I've seen the first one. Then I was so confused by who she was and who he was and their relationship. I was like, are they together? Are they a couple? This is a bit weird, their age difference and stuff. So I was very jarred by the first sort of 10 minutes of this film.
We're in the same boat because I've also only seen the first one, and it was only a couple of months ago when I actually sat and watched it for the first time.
Yeah, because you reviewed that on your show, didn't you?
Yeah, and it was my first full sit down and watch, and I was slightly confused, but then I was like, either he's like a gold digger or she's like related somehow.
She's cooking dinner, and she's there with her eldest son. Let's clarify that. He's not into MILFs. It's his mum.
She gets at this point.
Yeah, this is true. And she gets a call from her granddaughter who lives in the Bahamas with her parents. And then bizarrely jumps to the next night. So you get this scene and then it jumps a full 24 hours. And it doesn't tell you what happens in that gap. And her and her son are walking through the town. We find out her son's a policeman because he's wearing a uniform. And he's with his girlfriend, and they're walking through Amity Island in Christmas time. So all the shops have got Christmas decorations, there's lights. Her son pops into the station to see if he needs to do anything before he can fuck off till Christmas. Did anyone spot the picture of Brody, Roy Scheider?
How could you miss it? It was literally focused on it for about 10 minutes. I was like, yeah, we've seen it. We see it's there.
We know who he is. Jesus.
Yeah. And it couldn't have been any fucking bigger either. It was like a wall montage.
There's a story behind it, and I'll get to it in facts, but I just wanted to check you both didn't miss it, because it's only there for like a split second.
Yeah, it's a blink and it's gone kind of moment.
He's told there's nothing to do. He's about to leave when they get a call to the station, and they say that there's a bit of wood that's stuck on a channel marker. Conveniently, the Coast Guard are busy, so he needs to go out and deal with it. He sets off on his boat to go out to the channel marker, and alone. Did anyone else question why he'd done this on his own?
No. Should I have done?
No, I mean, I just presumed, maybe all the sharks are dead by now.
Yeah, but would you go out on a boat on your own to try and dislodge something that's stuck in the water? Surely the potential hazard there is huge.
Now you say it out loud like that, yeah, it's not the most safest of options, is it? I suppose.
No, and he gets there and he kind of hangs over the boat trying to dislodge it with a stick, and then we get da-da, da-da. So we know Jaws is there. Great, we get our first shark kill. Mark, I know this was your favourite kill of the movie. Do you want to talk us through it?
Not particularly, no. It was fucking dog shit, man. This was the most stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. He jumps, he takes his arm off, and no, he doesn't even take his arm off. The jaw nudges him, and he sticks his arm under his jacket with a ruffled bit of material to make it look like it's been bitten off. It's the most stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, there's no blood. Where's all the blood?
It was just silly. It looked like a makeshift Halloween costume. I was like, fuck's sake. Are we really
trying to be Georgie?
And the stupid thing is then Jaws jumps at the boat again and drags him from the boat into the water and kills him. But then the tiny amount of damage, they pan back and you see this kind of small bite mark out of the top half of the boat, and then the boat sinks immediately after Jaws has taken him. I was like, come on.
Yeah.
We jump to Ellen identifying the body, and her family flying in to be by her side. When they arrive, Ellen is staring at the sea like a crazy person. Her son goes to talk to her, and Ellen hits him with the line, "It came for him." Fuck.
Right. We're going to have to just take a back step here now, because I haven't, we've only seen the first Jaws.
Yeah.
So
what happens in the second and the third one?
Yeah. Is this
the
same
quick
shark?
overlay?
I can't even really remember what happens to the end of the shark.
I'm pretty sure I've heard that the two sharks from the other two films all die.
Yeah, so the shark in Jaws 1's blown up. The shark in Jaws 2 is electrocuted and dies. And I can't remember what happens to the shark in Jaws 3, but I'm pretty sure it is 100% dead. So it definitely didn't survive. So this is a brand new shark that obviously doesn't like the Brody family.
Unless
does
it's
he have a relation?
It might be the son of the original Jaws shark, and obviously he's out for revenge for his dad. Maybe this is what's happening.
Were you on the writing team for this?
Confusing one.
I don't think anybody was on the fucking writing team for this.
They got like a preschool to do this.
The script is so bad. We get later that night, and her eldest son is. She tells her eldest son that she wants him to stop working in the Bahamas, and he can't work in the sea anymore. And this is where she starts her rhetoric of the vengeful shark that's coming after their family. And he's like, "You're crazy." We jump to the next day, and he's walking down the beach with his wife.
Oh God!
Rocky 3.
Why does he do this?
I don't know.
Why does he run?
He just sprints.
Yeah.
He's walking along and he's like, I got to go. And then he just runs down the beach, and they film it exactly the same as Rocky 3, where they're like shooting through the grass and they follow him. It's the same shot as when Rocky races Apollo Creed. It's, why?
The worst thing is he's like mid-sentence as he's talking, and they just sprints for no reason other than
I'd assumed he'd just seen something down the beach and he was like chasing towards some sort of danger. That's how it looked. I don't get it. I really don't get this film.
If you go on YouTube, you can find a lovely clip where someone has edited in Sylvester Stallone and Apollo Creed, and all three of them race together to the Rocky music.
Right, send me the link for that immediately.
Which, to be fair, is infinitely better than this movie. We're at the funeral and we get some flashbacks of Brody from the original Jaws, and we get the flashbacks of him where his child is mimicking in the original Jaws, which is a wonderful scene. And I mentioned that because it's going to come back later. It's going to come back full circle a bit later on. And it's the only decent bit of writing in this entire film. This is the only bit that was written by a grown-up. I won't lie, as they boarded the plane, I had to pause it because I was in shock that Michael Caine was the pilot. Sir Michael Caine was the pilot.
Yeah, when the opening credits started, and you get that real cool POV of the shark under the water, and you get the rolling credits, and it's telling you everybody who's in the film, and it was like Michael Caine. I was like, surely not the Michael Caine I'm thinking of. And then this scene happened, and I was like, holy shit, this is that Michael Caine. Like, what was his career path at this point? Was this before he was famous?
No, he was A-list celebrity.
I actually know this as well.
Yeah.
So basically, he just won an Oscar while he was filming this.
Mm.
And he only did this for the paycheck to pay for a house. He literally used the paycheck to pay for a house. That's all it was for.
Yeah.
And he wanted a holiday as well.
Yeah, he did. So he got a time shooting in the Bahamas and he got paid for this. He actually missed collecting his Oscar because he was in the Bahamas filming this.
Oh, wow, that's a fucking Oscar story and a half, isn't it?
If you, again, on YouTube, because when I found that out, I went and looked, you can find him accept his Oscar via video speech from the Bahamas.
That's interesting.
I'm pretty sure he knew this was going to be a big flop.
Yeah, I think he did. He plays a character called Hoagie, who's I don't know, he's a lovable rogue. I think that's the best way to put it. We find out he's a heavy gambler. But overall, he seems like a nice guy. I mean, he lets a 5-year-old fly a plane.
Yeah, that's brave, isn't it?
Yeah, and I've got a 6-year-old, and there is no way in the world I would let my 6-year-old fly a plane. He'd be dead in seconds. It'd be straight down. But they kind of do this roller coaster thing, and it's just a filler. It's just filling a gap until we get to the next time we see the shark. They reach Ellen's son's house, but Ellen has a meltdown because her daughter goes near the water.
When she's on the swing and stuff. I just don't get why she's so traumatized by all of this. It's not like she
across the movie.
Her.
No, but across the movie, she has lost like 70% of her family to shark attacks.
Has she actually then? So, because is she in them all? Is she in all of these films?
Yes, she is. She came out of retirement to do this one.
That sounds like a bad deal.
Personally. Yeah, it does to me and all. So in the first one, she's obviously Brody's wife, and then just gives a quick brief rundown of Jaws 2 and 3 in their involvement character-wise, just so I can try and salvage some sort of...
Jaws 2, she's in it again. I think one of her children gets eaten in Jaws 2, and lots of teenage kids. Brody's in it. Brody kills the shark. He holds a... I'm not going to go into it because he's just going to... He basically holds...
There was only 2 kids in the first one.
Yeah, I think... Is it one of his kids or his nephews? A family member dies because Brody goes out on the hunt to find and kill the shark. Jaws 2 is pretty much a mimic of Jaws 1, but it's only Brody and he's in a dinghy.
Fair enough.
He literally... He takes Jaws on in an inflatable dinghy in the second one.
Yeah, this is why Deep Blue Sea is a better franchise.
Yeah, I'll agree with that one.
Anyway, at this point, I think I would, if it was my parent, I would be now thinking about getting them some help at this point.
Yeah.
Just move her inland, for fuck's sake.
Move her inland.
We get
her about 20 miles from the sea. Should be fine.
Yeah. We get a scene where we see Ellen going into the sea and she's swimming out and she's attacked and killed by Jaws. I cannot tell you how disappointed I was when I found out this was a dream sequence.
Me too. At this point, I was like, thank God she is done, because she was getting right on my nerves. And then it turns out it's not even real.
Yeah. She wakes up. And we jump from here. This movie jumps about a lot, and there's a lot of fill-in scenes, and there's quite a big chunk of this movie I'm going to gloss over in a minute. But the next couple of bits are quite important, so bear with us. We find out what Michael does for a living. Michael tags conchs. We meet Jake, who's the most stereotypical Caribbean Rasta, borderline to the point it's almost racist character I've ever seen in a movie.
I would agree. I know this is 1989, but I think this would be classed as offensive these days.
Yeah.
But also, he's the only enjoyable character.
Yes, he is. 100%. And I would liken him to give you an example without me trying to do the accent, because I'm not going to do that. If you've seen Cool Runnings, he is Sanka from Cool Runnings.
Yeah, on even more of a horror-related note, he is Jack Black from I Know What You Did Last Summer 2.
Well, that's a reference.
His accent is that fake. His Jamaican accent is that fake and unconvincing. He is Jack Black from I Know What You Did Last Summer 2.
Yeah, I would say that. After they've been at work, we get the Bahamas Christmas get-together where everyone sits on the floor in Michael, who's Ellen's son, in her living room. Again, this scene's just a filler. Nothing happens. We get Ellen plays on the beach with her granddaughter, and then she stands and stares into the sea because she can sense the shark is near. This is
what is with this whole psychic
connection. Yeah,
I don't know. I think they ripped it from Halloween.
Yeah, but I wouldn't even defend it and say it's
in fact
better because this is Halloween 5 and
in fact I would go as far as to say Halloween 5 stole this from this, because Halloween 5 was much later than this.
Was it really?
It was. Yeah. It's just so unneeded.
I don't understand why anybody would take any inspiration from this film whatsoever.
Yeah, it's so shit. But anyway, Michael Caine turns up and he chats up Ellen. Mr. Caine, you can do far better than this.
Yeah, you don't want a mental person who's connected to a shark.
Yeah, so someone who's got a psychic connection with a shark who's very, very dull and very, very weird. Set your sights higher, please. They go for a flight on his plane before they go to like this little carnival. And she has another feeling the shark is near. Back on the ocean, we get Michael and Rasta Jake are working on tagging conchs. This time they're in a mini sub, which looks cool. I want to have a go in one of those.
Yeah, but did you hear the radio when they was coming back to each other? I mean, I know this is the 80s, but honestly, it was the most stupid robot voice you've ever heard when they're talking back and forth between each other on this microphone thing. Did anybody else catch this? I wouldn't even recommend going back and checking it out just to watch it. I wouldn't say go back just for this purpose alone. It's not that worthy of it. But for me, I was like, even though it's the 80s, surely a microphone still sounds like a microphone, not like an alien.
It's that distance, though, isn't it?
No, I just feel like
it's probably like 20 feet.
I think it's just presenting technology in a weird way. It was so stupid.
But it wasn't as stupid as the shark that arrives. This thing looks like a giant bath toy. It's so rubber and so fake. It's just so bad. It attacks, kind of like brushes past him and then jumps out of the water and attacks the boat. Why did it attack the boat?
I don't know, but it bites out like a shape, like the same way you'd bite like out of an apple.
Yeah, but there's this really long shot of the shark, like the only bit of the shark.
It chews on the step of the boat.
Yeah,
that's the only thing it chews on.
Yeah, it does. And the only part of the shark that's still touching the water is its tail. So this thing is like just completely out of the water, and it's kind of almost like munching. It just looks terrible.
Like a dolphin out of water. It's weird, isn't it?
It is really, really bad. But they decide that they're now going to study the shark, because the shark's obviously going to give them a bigger payday than studying conchs. If you were Michael and your mum's been telling you for the last 30 years that a shark is hunting your family, at this point, would you go, oh, do you know what? Mum might be onto something here.
No, I'd still be convinced that my mum was crazy.
You think it'd be the first time it turns up, you'd be like, oh, it's kind of just a coincidence. You know, it's turned up, it's got lost, but then it carries on attacking. That's when you're like, all right, maybe should have listened to Mum.
Yeah, the thing is, though, the second time, that because they go back out almost straight away to try and find the shark again, And they start chumming the water. They start chucking meat and blood in, which I think is actually banned now. I don't think you're allowed to do that anymore. When I was in my 20s, I went out on a chartered boat to do a dive in a shark cage. When I saw them chum the water to bring the sharks in, and I saw a very, very large built, quite scary man from the north go down first and come out white as a sheet and shaking like a leaf, I abandoned it and stayed on top of the deck drinking beer.
Yeah, that sounds like a good
idea.
show.
It was definitely a better idea. They've decided they're going to tag the shark. So Jake hangs off the front of the boat with a spear. And Jaws arrives on the surface of the water, floating like he's just floating like a turd that's being dragged through the...
They don't swim like this, do they? Like, surely they would come with the element of surprise and then come out. But it literally, for about half a mile, if not even longer, down the ocean, it's floating on top of the water like a submarine.
It is.
Constantly floating.
Yeah, and then when he tags it, it roars like a lion, and then it sinks like a submarine as well. It goes straight down.
Why does it roar? Why does it roar?
I don't know why it roars.
Who decided to write that in?
Just so everyone knows, if anyone doesn't know anything about sharks, they don't roar, but in Jaws the Revenge, this shark roars like a lion.
Oh, so they don't actually do that? Because I thought this was pretty convincing.
Yeah, no, they really don't. Well, I say that. I've never been close enough to a shark that it would roar. The ones I saw off the boat when I went out on a charter boat to do it, they breached the water quite a few times. I didn't hear the roar, but I wasn't close enough to confirm.
I don't think I've ever seen a documentary where they've said that that sharks make a particular noise.
Maybe
I can't imagine they do.
No, I can't see David Attenborough going, and now we will hear the shark roar. I
think that's going to be a good episode. I want it.
We now get another pointless filler with Ellen and Hoagie, where they fuck off to a bar and that they have a drink. He ordered a Bahama Mama, which I thought sounded fucking awesome and far more interesting than this film. So we're going to play a game midway through a review, which we've never done before. We're going to play a game called Know Your Cocks. It's time to know your cocks. Isn't this going to be fun?
Are we only midway through this fucking film?
Unfortunately so. And it's not what all the listeners are thinking, you dirty-minded people. Summer's approaching, and I feel it's a time to play a game that's all around cocktails. So we're going to play a cocktail quiz. It's going to be a buzzer game. So you're going to buzz in for the answer. Mark, your buzzer is going to be da-da, da-da. And Zaphod, your buzzer is going to be a roar like a lion.
Oh, what the fuck, man? My buzzer takes me
do I have to say the word or do I have to roar?
You have to roar. So if we could test your buzzers, Mark, if you could do yours first. That's fine. You only need to do it once.
Right, okay.
That's the
it doesn't have the same
one.
effect if you only do it once. So.
And if we could test yours, Zaphod.
Oh, God. Raw.
Okay.
I'll put some effort in.
Yeah, so question number one. What do you call a virgin cocktail?
Raw?
Oh, that was Mark. What do you call it?
Is it just a non-alcoholic? Is that what you mean? Is that the point?
Yeah. What do you call a virgin cocktail? Non-alcoholic cocktail.
Oh right, I actually don't know the answer to this.
Okay, I'll pass.
Give me the definition.
I'll pass it over. Zaphod?
I thought it was just a non-alcoholic
I know.
Go on then.
It's mocktail.
It is a mocktail. Next one. This one's a little bit harder. What does IBA stand for?
Oh, fuck.
IBA.
I don't know.
I'm going to take a guess and say you're not going to get it. Go on, Mark. Have a guess.
Is it the name of a drink?
No, it's not. It's the International Bartenders Association.
Fucking hell.
They get easier after. Question number 3. What is the main alcohol used to make a casino?
I've never heard of a casino.
Is it whiskey?
It's not. It's gin. You're not very good at this, either of you.
I drink beer. That's all I'm known for.
I can say I drink whiskey and rum, and that's it.
Okay, well let's try this one. In which cocktail would you find Worcestershire sauce?
Is it a Bloody Mary?
It is a Bloody Mary. Well done.
Oh, tomato sauce. The tomato juice.
Yeah, you get tomato juice in it as well. We've got two more. So we have got what garnish is added to a Negroni?
Raw. Cherry.
It's not a cherry.
Taking a guess.
Is it like a herb, like a I would say mint or sage or something like that?
It's not. It's an orange peel. And the last one, what syrup is used in a tequila sunrise?
Oh my god.
I have no idea.
Raw. I'm gonna go for a guess.
Go on.
No, we've lost it. Maple syrup.
Is it passion fruit?
It's not. It's grenadine.
Grenadine.
That
Throw
was
maple syrup in it. Long bouncy.
That was Know Your Cocks, which goes to show I drink way too much because I wrote all of those questions myself.
I just don't do cocktails very often.
This game was as pointless as all of the filler scenes in this movie, which is kind of why I put it in. This fits as well as most of the scenes they've shoehorned into here, and the only reason they've done it is to get their money's worth out of Michael Caine, because all of the extra scenes feature Michael Caine.
I reckon if you took the shark out of this film and pieced together all of the scenes with Michael Caine and Ellen, you could make like some sort of romantic getaway comedy out of this film.
Yeah, you could, apart from the fact it's not funny and she's really not romantic. Mike and Rasta Jake are tracking Jaws again. They fail miserably this time. They don't catch him. That night, we get Michael and his daughter sat at the dinner table, and they recreate the mimicking scene from the original Jaws that was foreshadowed earlier that I mentioned. This is actually really well written. Ellen sees this, and honestly, this is a good piece of cinema scattered in an absolute trash movie. This scene, I thought, was great.
It's like the best scene out of the film. Definitely.
Yeah, it's quite jarring, really, when you watch it, because I found myself going from not really paying much attention to be really involved in this scene. I mean, I have a daughter myself, and it was a really cute little play for about 5 minutes where she's mimicking everything he does, and it was nice. It was a nice break from the doom and gloom that surrounds everything else.
Yeah. I can say my little one does this occasionally as well. So
this
is the only bit that's like partly relatable.
The thing is, this scene doesn't last very long, and then we're straight back into absolute dog shit. So we get Michael and Jake are back on the sea. Michael is back in the water tagging conchs. I would not be in the water if the shark had come near me. The radar starts picking up Jaws. It starts beeping because they tagged it, so they know where it is. We get the rubber shark attacks the mini sub and destroys it. And Michael swims for his life and he hides in a sunken boat. Then we get, because we've all got young children, so we all know this reference. Then we get the scene from Finding Nemo.
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
This is definitely where they took it from.
Yeah, the shark.
I mean, the shark is called Bruce in Finding Nemo.
And it is almost a direct replica, even to the point where he looks up and you see the silhouette of the shark go over the top. Then it's trying to force its way through the boat. It's literally Finding Nemo. It's so
and
shocking.
Finding Nemo still did it better.
Yeah, it did. So Finding Nemo parodied this and done it a million times better. And nothing comes of it either, because Michael gets away and gets back to the surface and gets back on the boat.
I thought he'd got bitten because he had like a cut on his arm. I was like, that's a really
he gets like nicked.
He gets nicked. If a great white nicks you, you don't just get a little scratch, you lose limbs, you know? I was like, what actually happened to him at this point?
Maybe
I think he might have caught himself going through the boat or something like that.
No, that's what it would be if somebody decent had written this film. But I think he genuinely got attacked by the shark.
Yeah,
am I trying to make this film better? Maybe.
I think you are, yeah.
And this shark is meant to be a 20-foot great white. If a 20-foot great white bites you, it doesn't leave a tiny little gash. I don't think. Again, we may need to get someone to confirm that. If there's any shark experts listening, please call in. I'd be interested to get your take on this movie. I hadn't mentioned it earlier because it's fucking pointless, but it's now relevant. Michael's wife is an artist who makes sculptures. Her sculpture strangely looks like a shark from a certain angle. This is getting a grand unveiling on the beach. Ellen's granddaughter asks her mum if she can go on a banana boat, and her mum agrees. Jaws chases the banana boat through the water and then leaps from the water, taking a man from the back of the boat. After he's bitten the man, he then sinks straight back down into the water and disappears like nothing's happened.
He was aiming for the child.
He was definitely.
Yeah.
So this shark in this story, this shark is out for only that family.
Maybe it is Michael Myers. He is actually after the bloodline.
Yeah, he's trying to kill it off before they can kill his bloodline off.
You mentioned Halloween here. The next thing in my notes is Ellen becomes Laurie Strode and sets off to kill her nemesis.
Yeah, man, honestly, I just don't get this fucking film at all. I'm guessing this was not a commercial success by any means.
I will talk about that.
It was a flop.
It done better than I think it deserved.
Right.
And it had a ginormous budget as well for 1987. I mean, ginormous budget.
So it's just riding the tailcoats.
I know that. I know how much. I know how much Michael Caine got, which is
really?
If I'm
considered. How much did he get?
He got $1.5 million apparently.
Wow. For 80s,
which is like not even a dent.
Mega money.
Yeah, so
it's not a dent into the budget though.
No, the budget for this movie, including their marketing, was $36 million. That's more than Halloween Kills.
Fucking hell, really?
That's in 1987.
Wow. What would that be in inflation? I know we're not mathematician wizards, but if you were to guess.
It's well over 100 million.
Holy shit. What a fucking waste of money, man.
So she becomes Laurie Strode and sets off on Michael's sailboat to go and kill Jaws. She's got no plan on how she's going to do this, but she plows off out into the sea. Michael and Jake rope in Hoagie, and he offers to use their plane, and they go up to start searching for them. At this point, it's insinuated that Hoagie might be a smuggler, and I'll come back to that in facts. Jaws arrives at the boat at exactly the same time as Hoagie, Michael, and Jake get there. The shark attacks the boat. Hoagie lands the plane on the water. This is not a seaplane. This is just a plane. I'm sure a plane hitting water explodes, but again, I could be wrong. Michael and Jake
managed just action films.
Michael and Jake manage to swim across and they get on the boat fine. And then the shark attacks Hoagie in the plane. I thought Hoagie was dead until he pulls himself onto the boat. Did anyone notice he was completely dry apart from his hair?
Yeah, and I know why as well.
Completely dry. And from what I think it's down to the fact it took them so long to shoot this scene. He dried out and they just wet his hair.
Yeah, apparently it took so long to turn the camera that he was dry by the time they got round to filming him again. Yeah. It's like, what are you gonna do?
I honestly, Mark, it's worth going back just to see it because he pulls himself on the boat and he's literally as dry as we are now, and it looks like someone's tipped a bottle of water on his hair.
But you're actually suggesting I watch this heap of shit again for a 30-second scene?
No, just go and find that 30-second scene.
I was going to say, just YouTube it.
I'm not even going to do that. I'll let you lads do the legwork. Someone could just send me the link. That'd be much better.
From here, they go all MacGyver, and they build a contraption that's going to disorientate the shark. Why they try and fix the boat that's just stopped working for no apparent reason.
Slowly sinking.
And they're slowly sinking, yeah. Jake hangs off the boat and to try and get the device into Jaws' mouth. Jaws rips off the front part of the boat and takes Jake into the water. We then get Ellen having a flashback, which is the best bits of Jaws 1, of the original Jaws. Oh, God, it's just so bad.
Yeah, I like the way you paused at this moment because I've literally wrote in my notes, it's like, is anyone actually still paying attention at this point?
Yeah, it is so bad.
I fell asleep briefly.
They're triggering this device, and as they're triggering this device, the shark is leaping out of the water and roaring like a lion repeatedly.
Yeah, very excessively.
She spins the boat, and because it's broken the tip off the end of the boat the end of the boat is now sharp, and she basically impales the shark. The shark is now dead. Well, when she impales the shark exploded for a start. into a billion
Great,
pieces.
but there's no reason for it, but it's just funny.
It just went bang.
Yeah, you see, I assumed the credits were somewhere near, so I think I turned it off at this point. So I don't actually know how this wraps up. I think if we were close enough to the end.
That's
for me to
basically
get on
it.
the episode.
Yeah, well, she spears the shark. The shark explodes. We get the worst soundstage backdrop ever, which they're meant to be in the open sea, and you can actually see the water lapping against the wall behind them.
Oh, really?
Oh, God. I didn't notice that.
The movie ends with everyone okay, including Jake, because now the shark has exploded. Jake floats to the surface and is fine.
So does anyone even die in this film apart from the guy at the beginning?
Yeah, the guy on the
guy
banana
at the beginning
boat.
and the guy, yeah, there's like 2 deaths. That's about it.
There's 2 deaths.
Wow.
The movie ends with Hoagie flying Ellen back to Amity Island, where she potentially teed up a sequel going, "You all need to come and visit me in the summer." Thankfully, that sequel never happened.
This one should have never happened.
Honestly, I don't know what to say about this movie, but luckily, you will do it for me. Let's do this week's 3-word reviews. We wanted them. You delivered them. It's this week's 3-word reviews from the listeners. So, 3-word reviews this week. We've got Ben Oakman, Sharks Roar, apparently. We've got Haunted Pickers, Feed Me More. We've got Doom Generation Pod, Never Swim Again. We've got Video Tasties, Bought Kane's House, OHEG Official, Banana Boat Scene, Pretty Killer Podcast, Sharks Hold Grudges. And that's Under the Bed with Drax. And I think we'll all agree with this. Time Lost Forever.
Yes.
Yeah. A little bit about our 3-word reviews. You've got Ben Oakman's a movie buff. Haunted Pickers are paranormal investigators. We've got Doom Generation Pod is a movie podcast. Video Tasties is a YouTuber, Instagrammer, video VHS collector. We've got OHEG Official is a horror account. We've got Pretty Killer Podcast, who's a horror account whose podcast launches very, very soon. Keep an eye out for when that comes out. And What's Under the Bed with Drax account is awesome. It's a 14-year-old who interviews horror filmmakers and big horror filmmakers as well. Very, very interesting YouTube channel.
Oh, go on,
you that clout.
Really impressive. Like, interviewing people that I would dream to get on this show. So well done to Drax. Very well done.
Congrats to him.
Yeah. As I said earlier, we have had a call into the show. So I think before we sink into facts, would you like me to play the call we've had in?
Yes, please. Please, BH4 representative.
Yeah, Marc's desperately wanting it.
I am. I'm craving. I don't know how many times I have to request it on the show for somebody just to call in and do it. Just break up the phone and say, please do H4. That's all you need to do.
The thing is, we had 2 calls. We had someone who wanted it and someone who didn't. So you're shit out of luck and straight back to square one.
There's got to be an episode sooner or later. Yeah.
I need to call in.
Please do. Please do. I will pay you to do it.
I'll do it on free. It's fine.
Let's do this one. Here we go.
Hi, my name is Gertrude, and I really love the show, but I'd like to request a movie to review, if you don't mind. I'm a big fan of Halloween, and that Michael Myers, he's so strong and intimidating, really gets me going. Anyway, sorry, I'm just doing my crossword here. What was I talking about again? Halloween, oh yeah. Hold on, 7. Halloween, 7 across. Golfer yells 4. Yeah, that's what a golfer yells. 4 when he hits the ball. Sorry, 7 across. Got it. Anyway, Halloween. I was going to request. Actually, reminds me of the time my nephew. He dressed up as a little scarecrow for Halloween. It was adorable. Anyway, okay. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Marc, is that you? Did you just call in?
Oh, I love Dave. What a legend. I'm assuming this is Dave at this point.
I don't know, because it come through from someone that said Gertrude.
That surely has to be Dave. If that's not Dave, well, I don't know what I would do, but I'm just putting everything. I will even bet my house that is Dave.
Hello, Gertrude. Thank you very much for listening to the show. Thank you for your call. I'm not quite sure what movie you requested, though.
She said H4.
No,
Halloween at least. It was definitely Halloween at least.
She said Halloween, but then the answer to her crossword question was 7 across. Was what does a golfer shot when he hits the ball? And it's 4. So technically, I'm not going to let you have that.
That's not fair. There can't be loopholes every time someone phones in.
But at no point did Gertrude say she wanted H4, so terribly sorry. And Gertrude, you're more than welcome to call again if you would like H4 and be more specific. But at the moment, the wall remains. H4 will not appear on the You Run podcast.
For now.
We'll see. Anyway, into facts. It's time to find out what you know about this movie and what we know. It's facts. This movie is one of what's known as Michael Caine's paycheck movies. They include Swarm, Ashanti, Beyond the Poseidon, Adventure, The Island, The Hand, Blame It on Rio. He done a lot of these. So these are movies that he just does because they pay him good sums of money for very little. And if you look at 90% of those movies, they're set in hot tropical climates where he got 2, maybe 3, maybe 8 weeks in the sun to film.
Yeah. He just wants a free holiday. That's all it is.
What a great guy.
I don't blame him.
He was interviewed about Jaws the Revenge, and he is quoted in saying, "I've never seen it. By all accounts, it's terrible. However, I have seen the house that it built, and that is terrific."
Yeah, I don't blame him.
This man, just for that, deserves a knighthood.
Is he not Sir Michael Caine at this point?
Yeah, he is Sir Michael Caine. Yeah.
What? Because he did Jaws the Revenge.
Yeah, Jaws the Revenge. He deserved to be knighted for doing that.
Is that what sealed his deal?
I don't think Liz was like, you know what? That Jaws is a good film.
The water tank in the climax of the movie was basically a big swimming pool, and it was filled with blue dye. You can find these photos; they're circular online. They're easy enough to find. Michael Caine and Lorraine Gray's hair, who play Ellen and Hoagie, went bright blue because the blue dye dyed their hair blue.
It made my film more interesting, at least.
The sharks roar. This is so. The sound guy on this was asked to make a roaring noise for the shark. He was asked to create a unique sound. And the sound guy, give him his due, turned around and went, "No, sharks don't roar. I'm not willing to do that." That they basically told him, "You have to, or you're going to get fired." He was so adamant he wasn't going to create one. He went and found a Tom and Jerry cartoon called The Milky Waif that came out in 1946 that had a lion in it that roared, and he took that sound, and that is the sound that's in this movie.
That is absolutely incredible. Not only is it just it's a cartoon lion on top of it all.
It is.
I don't know if that makes it worse or better.
Again, there's loads of videos where they play Jaws and this cartoon next to each other on YouTube, and that they do the roar at the same time. It's very, very funny. Roy Schneider, who played Brody in the original, was offered a cameo. He declined, and this is what he said to the film company: "Satan himself could not get me to do Jaws Part 4.
Yeah,
at least he saw what was coming.
Yeah, he was told that if he was to take the part, they were going to pay him a stupid amount of money. But if he was going to take the part, it was only a bit part, and it was actually going to be him who was killed at the beginning by the shark.
Is it confirmed he dies off screen? I can't actually remember. Is he just?
Yeah, he died of a heart attack.
Yeah, I can't. I think I can't.
I think they say he dies of a heart attack because he was scared of
the shark. Yeah, it's
what a way to go.
It's a brief line.
Character.
Yeah, it's a throwaway line because he didn't want to come back, so they just wrote him out. The movie tagline for this was "This time it's personal," which was parodied in Back to the Future 2. When you see the fictional Jaws 19 poster directed by Max Spielberg, the tagline says, "This time it's really, really personal."
Could you imagine if we actually got 19 Jaws films?
Oh,
Jesus.
they'd have to dramatically improve from the last one to get me to watch another one.
I feel like Sharknado is just that. That's all it is. It's just Jaws.
Sharknado
19.
is better than this.
Yeah, as
Yeah,
much
at least
as
it
I
knows it's
hate,
bad.
as much as I hate Sharknado, it is a step up from this film. They could have made this film better though, but they cut out. There was a subplot in this where Hoagie was a drug smuggler, which they filmed all the scenes for, and then they cut them because they didn't want it to take away from the main premise of the shark chasing down the family.
The shark's in this for about 3 minutes. What do you mean take away from the impact of the shark?
Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you what the facts are.
Fuck this film, man. Fuck, honestly.
Final fact, this movie has been the hardest to watch since I started the show. A little bit like the quiz. This quiz has been the hardest we've had since I started the show. So I think with that, it's time to play Broken Spirit.
I told you, I want to play a game.
They will say that I have shed innocent blood.
The power of Christ compels you!
What have you done to its eyes?
Well, it's elevated horror.
You know, it's Halloween. I guess everyone's entitled to one good scare, huh?
You're going to like it.
I'm Chucky, and I'm your friend to the end.
How was that the slaughterhouse?
All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up.
Oh, I know this one, you fuck.
Okay, so the rules for Broken Spirit are really simple. It's 15 questions. It's you versus your horror knowledge versus me. I think you're going to do okay. I've got a good feeling that you're going to do all right.
It depends where you ask.
Every question you get right, you get 10 points. You get a question wrong, you lose all your points and you drop down to 0. You can walk away at any time with the points you've got. So you could literally just go, I'm going to take my points and I'm going to run. Top scorer at the moment, we've got a joint first place, which is a Swedish horror nerd, Ellis and Robbie Horror are both joint with 20 points each. So you need to get 3 to take the lead.
Right.
Okay. Do you want me to quiz you? Do you want Mark to quiz you? Or do you want us to take turns?
I'll go for it. Both of you can take turns, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Gives me a bit more variation.
I'm going to kick it off. What animal noise does the shark in Jaws the Revenge make when it attacks? I will accept you telling me or making the noise yourself.
I'm not making it, but a lion. A lion roar.
It is a lion. Mark, over to you.
Question number 2. What year was Kevin Smith's Tusk released?
2014.
Well done, 20 points. You are now currently joint first place.
You are.
Oh, God.
Question number
Pressure.
3. In A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, what character has the dream power to be strong? I'll accept the character's name or the actor's name.
Kincaid.
That's correct. 30 points. You are now in the lead. Mark, over to you.
Right, now for my favourite section, which is horror, not horror. The quote is, "We rob banks." All you have to do is tell me whether that is from a horror film or not a horror film. And just remember as well, you are currently in the lead at this point with 30 points. You do not have to give me an answer. You can walk away and take your points and sit nicely in first place.
Oh. I'm trying to think, because, like, I don't know.
I'll say that again. We rob banks. Horror or not horror? If you don't know it, you can walk away. You don't have to guess.
I'm not going to risk it because it could easily be horror and not be horror. So I'm going to take the points.
Okay, you are now the leader in Broken Spirit with 30 points. If you were going to take a guess, what would you have gone with?
Kind of want to say Wishmaster 2.
You wouldn't have even had to give me whether it was a horror. You wouldn't have to give me the title. You only had to tell me whether it was a horror or not a horror.
Would I get it right though?
No, you'd have been wrong. It was.
Oh, thank God.
It was not horror. It was Bonnie and Clyde from 1967.
All right, that's fair.
So
well done, though. There's no disheartening.
Yeah,
You are now currently first place.
Oh,
Congratulations.
I'll take it.
You've got the furthest through this quiz that anyone's got and walked away with the points. You're top of the leaderboard. And I think you will stay there for quite a while. This quiz is so hard. Don't forget that I said on... I can't remember what episode it was. I said on a previous episode, if you want to come on Broken Spirit, you can call into the show. I'm going to extend that. If you want to, if you're listening now and you think you can beat 30 points or you think you can take Broken Spirit on, send me a message. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, wherever you want, or message Mark and say, I'd like to come on Broken Spirit. And we will do not a full guest appearance, but you can come on, have a go at Broken Spirit, and we'll put you into an upcoming episode. So if you think you've got what it takes to beat Broken Spirit, come and give it a try. Zaphod, Spaceman and the Doll podcast. 30 points. First place. Scores from the listeners this week. I don't normally moan at the listeners' scores, but fuck me, you were all drinking when you scored this. Seriously? You scored this
that bad?
A 5 out of 10.
Fuck off. No way.
Jesus.
The listeners have obviously either been heavily drinking or have lots of nostalgia. But I'm going with they've
never seen this film before. I just saw Jaws when you put the poll up.
I think they've all been drinking Bahama Mamas when they scored this.
To be fair, there are some people I know that think this is their favourite film.
Really? That's scary.
You say that as if it's not their favourite Jaws film. You mean favourite film?
Oh, I'd say favourite Jaws film, yeah, because it's no one's favourite film ever.
No, it's definitely not. That being said, this film does have some redeeming qualities. This, when I was growing up, it's on pretty much every Christmas when I was a kid. And I've seen this, I don't know, 30, 40 times, maybe upwards of that. There's a nostalgia element of this, of me sat with my dad watching this on like a couple of days before Christmas. The cast are pretty good, excluding the rubber shark. The rubber shark's terrible. Overall, the movie's a dumpster fire, but I'm going to give it 3 out of 10. It gets 1 point for the nostalgia that it gives me. It gets another point that they managed to convince Michael Caine to do it. And it gets another point that they managed to make a movie and get it out into the world. That's all it scores from me. I can't give it any more than that.
This gets my lowest score that I can give, which is half a star. I'm going to keep my roundup as entertaining as this film is, and it's shit. I don't care to waste any more time.
That's a fair assessment.
That's it, I'm done. I'm not giving any more time of my life to this film. That is it. You are done.
So, what do you get the final word on it?
So, it's a dumb film. It's not great at all. But I kind of like dumb films for the most part. So I'd probably give it like a 1.5.
Is that
not one that I'd...
Is that out of 5 or out of 10?
Out of 5.
Out of 5, 1.5.
I do letterbox scores, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I probably won't ever watch it again unless I'm forced to.
Yeah, I feel forced to for this. I felt very forced into this.
Yeah, it's one of those films that it is bad. It holds some nostalgia for me. I know I will watch this again. It won't be for a while. I haven't watched this for about 10 years, and it'll probably be another 10 years before I go, Jaws the Revenge. I'm sure that was pretty good. Next week, we're getting all vampire-y. I don't even think that's a word. We do that. We create words on the show now. As we take on Fright Night. I'm super pumped for Fright Night, but I'm more excited for our guest. So next week, we're joined by my niece's boyfriend, a guy called Joe, who is petrified of horror. And when I say petrified, Gremlin scared him to the fact that he didn't sleep for the night.
Well, good luck with Fright Night now.
Oh, we really should have made him watch Human Centipede then.
He's going to be...
think that's scary as much as disturbing.
It's very disturbing. That film's awful.
Yeah, fucking hell, man, honestly.
He's going to be incredibly entertaining. I felt very harsh with Broken Spirit because he's seen a grand total of 3 horror movies. So next week, I've adapted it to include general movies. It's still going to be as hard as it is for horror, but there's going to be some general movie stuff in there as well. Because
I thought you was going to include me in that. Then I thought he was going to say I've adapted it for Mark, and I was going to say fuck this, I'm not here next week.
No, I promised I would not get you again until such a time that I felt enough time had passed and you weren't so pissy about it. I'm looking forward to next week. It's going to be really, really fun. It's going to be an interesting episode because I think he'll probably be sleep deprived. He's already told me he's not watching it until the day before we record because he's dragging it out as long as he can. So yeah, it's going to be very, 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 very interesting. Zaphod, thank you so much for coming on and making this.
I appreciate you having me.
Anytime. With your show, where can everyone find your show? Because I do want everyone to go and give you a go and give you a listen as well, because I like your show and I think everyone else will as well.
Pretty much everywhere. The main ones, Spotify, iTunes, Google. There's probably a couple of smaller ones in there somewhere.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the names are. They've got so many ridiculous names. Stitcher, whatnot.
Yeah, you're pretty much everywhere, and it's Spaceman and the Dull podcast. They can find you on Instagram, Spaceman and the Dull. Are you anywhere else? Are you TikTok or Twitter?
Yeah, we have a TikTok, which is the same handle, Spaceman and the Dull. There's only like 2 videos up so far, so there's not much on there.
But no,
still getting used to making videos.
TikTok's hard graft. It really is.
The dedication to do it every day.
Yeah, I get that with all social. I think a lot of people don't realize is when you do a podcast, one of the main bits of work behind it is all of the social media stuff. And that takes a lot of time. And if you've got an Instagram, a TikTok, a Facebook, a Twitter, you've got people who use the Reddit servers, you've got people who use Discord servers. If you've got 7 or 8 of those, having a podcast is almost a full-time job.
Yeah. Our main social media is Instagram.
Yeah.
It's just the easiest.
Yeah, it definitely is the easiest without a doubt. Make sure you go and follow Spaceman and the Dull podcast. Go and give them a listen. Go and give them a 5-star review on Apple and on Spotify. And while you're there, give us a review as well, because there's still hundreds of you who listen to the show who don't hit 5 stars. You're listening to it now on your app. Literally scroll up away from the episode and there's those 5 stars that have got nothing in them, that they're blank. If you touch the 5th one, they all go gold and we go up the Apple podcast chart. So if you could please do that, that'd be great. And remember, the lesson from this week is be kind online, because you might meet some bastard who calls you out and makes you look a twat.
That's not how I'm willing to walk away from this episode. The lesson from this episode is do not watch Jaws the Revenge.
Yeah,
that also is a good lesson.
Yeah, that's definitely a good lesson. Also, don't call in for H4. And
no, please call in.
No,
for H4.
do it.
And we'll catch you all next week.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
You want to die tonight?
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the You Run podcast. Don't forget, to get involved in the show, all you need to do is head to our website, yourunpodcast.com.
This is not our show. This is your show.